Sorry, I'm just shifting this, guys. Always trying to do things on the fly. What I see here is there's definitely some very deep rooted emotional states that you're dealing with here in this month. I would say that, I mean, definitely very forward moving, and there's definitely some magnanimous, kind of energy here on a lot of different levels. And I even see some upgrades in terms of finances and all of that. But just to kind of I guess give you sort of the synopsis of everything here. Overall, and of course I'll bring all the cards forward as we go, but maybe what I'll do is I'll pull some of these down a little ways and then just start in. Um, so overall, the first cards out is the moon. So we all know the moon to be that card of dealing with the subconscious or our unconscious fears, not really having everything fully revealed to us, having a lack of understanding on some level. So again, I feel like you're really in a deep rooted area of your life where you're trying to really figure something out, and it's quite internalized for this month. I feel like there are maybe some decisions and so on that you're kind of mulling over, but it's almost like a kind of a plethora of things that you're really dealing with. I would say that there's definitely some elements here that kind of speak to the past, but I definitely feel like with that moon card, you're dealing with some, maybe even some repressed sort of thoughts or issues that have come up again. But again, it's a period of reflection for you to help to grow through this, whatever this is that you're, ultimately dealing with. The moon is also that card of, yes, I have some clarity on what it is that I'm trying to figure out, but there's still a good portion of it that I'm, still not quite sure how to navigate through. But again, you may be projecting some fears here. It may be something like that too. But I overall see that there's a lot of things that you're kind of jostling between. Like it's like back and forth, two steps forward, one step back. It's that kind of thing. It's like there's not quite any real sense of direction that I feel that I mean, I'm not going to say that you don't sense direction. There is direction in this reading, but it feels like the direction doesn't feel secured. It doesn't feel like you're absolutely sure. And so there's a lot of this, trying to figure out, is this going to work? Is this something that I should do? Is this something that is uh, the right thing for me to do? And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of cards here that also speak to that. Yes, there's a lot of uncertainty here. Yes, there's a lot of confusion that you're sort of working through. But at the same token, there's also that energy of trust your instinct, follow your intuition, but also lots of cautionary cards here about do not do anything, on a whim. Don't do anything without balancing out the pros and the cons of the situation. So there's a lot of that coming through because it keeps telling me consequences for actions, consequences for actions. So what it's telling you is reflect and go in a direction of really methodically thinking your way through whatever it is that you're having to make a decision on, because it's not something that you should take lightly. It's not something that you should jump right into. It's something that you need to methodically reshape in some way here. So, like I said, the fact that we are dealing with the moon means that there's not any real absolute, and this is probably more toward the beginning of June here. But there's something here that you haven't quite worked through and able for you to gather enough of the story or enough of the information to be able to isolate where it is that you want to go forward. So there's a sense of delay, but as they say, it's like a pregnant pause. It's something that you need to do. So you're not being held back just because of something that's unclear. It's also about, fears that you need to work through to discover what's real, what is illusion. So just know that this is you going through a phase of a situation. So there's something here about a lot of fears that you have to kind of work through first before making this decision. And that is really important, because otherwise you will continue to If you don't allow yourself to find a resolve, and I'm not saying you need to have an answer for everything because you don't, but you need to have enough of a sense of yourself before you can go ahead with something, because you have to dominate your doubts. But again, so in on the positive to that, if you, what is that? There's nothing that is ever, it's a quote, nothing will ever be attempted if all possible objections must be overcome first. So it's, again, not that you won't have doubts and not that you can't move forward. It's just that there's a consequence to whatever you choose to go forward on here. And I'm not sure if the decision seems to be something that you want to do rash. And maybe that's why there's constant cards coming up here of don't make a rash decision. So again, it's okay to have the doubts, because anytime you're in the space of making a decision, we all have doubts. It's about, you can't be afraid to go forward, but at the same token, you can still go through a situation with some level of acumen or study or wisdom. You know what I mean? So make an informed choice is basically what I'm saying here. And that will sort of half solve the problem here for you, because you're making a choice based on, a modest uh, amount of information, and so because of that, you can only make the best decision you can for whatever this situation is. So again, you won't be able to figure it all out here, but you can certainly control your doubts by informing yourself and going about that with knowledge. And again, making sure that you have wisdom from those that might be mentors or those that could better um, develop your mind about a particular issue. So again, do not let the fear hold you back. If you have the ability to finance yourself in a way that you can make an informed decision, then that's what you get your advice in. People that have already know this way ahead. If you have so much fear or self-doubt, then there's always, people that we can speak to, psychologists or counselors and whatever, that can also assist in situations. There's always somebody here or around that can help you to make a better informed choice. So you don't have to navigate alone. Especially if you don't have a lot of information yourself, you need to, make some important choices based on obviously other people coming in to assist here. So, and then you make your choice based on whatever the options are. So, anyway, okay, enough on that one. But again, so overall, I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion. Of course, with the moon, it is still a card of, your emotions being at the forefront here. And I'm also going to say the other cards that came up here were the Fool and the High Priestess. So there's a lot of information that's still being hidden from you, and things that you can't quite make decisions on because you don't have all the information, like I said. But there is still some good cards here that indicate that, um, if you follow an informed path with a moderate choice, not jumping in wholeheartedly, but moderately choosing, you will be on the right path of success or in a favorable choice. So, anyway, okay, so again, uncertainty, confusion, cycles of the moon. That's what that goes. It's all in around your emotional aspects. So you're dealing with aspects of the unconscious mind, and it's really dealing with parts of yourself that have either been not healed, not fully resolved. And so, really, with the Two of Pentacles, it's also a call out to whatever it is that you're applying this to, goals or personal choices, could be more broad spectrum, but be open to changes and willing to make the adjustments to achieve these things. So again, it's not being rigid in your decision making. It's, because there's clear emotional uncertainty and unknown factors here, but it's about being present in the relationship with yourself, but also being willing to adapt to whatever it is that's going to maintain healthier relationships. If you're around a lot of toxic people, you're not going to find a lot of healthy relationships in that. But to those that are, well, supporting you and that kind of thing, that is where you can find, more flexibility. Because again, the toxic relationships, those ones are things that have to kind of work on their own levels of, because they were there as instrumental pieces to help you grow, but you're not intended to necessarily be, immersed in it. It's about, what are the things that they trigger within you to be able to expand and again, be adaptable to whatever it is that grows you to a better sense of yourself. So, the best version of yourself. How do you achieve that? So, how do you achieve a healthy relationship with yourself by bringing only the right things around you. So it's like puzzles, pieces of a puzzle that you have to introduce to a situation. If that puzzle piece didn't fit right, it caused more drama, then you just put it on the side. It doesn't mean that there isn't a place for it. It just means that at this time you might need a few narrower choices to be able to go forward to the next baby steps. So anyway, I still feel like there is some change about here for you. So, in this month, and again, there's a certain level of adaptability that's required to make those adjustments as they come up. So, this definitely speaks to things around your home front for sure. The Four of Wands does speak to things around, you're wanting to find some adaptable or flexible responses or flexible mindset around the home front because this is what stations you. This is around your stability. So these are the things you want to keep in a harmonious state because that's the things that help you to ground yourself in some way. So again, I feel like there is you trying to sort of explore some of these alternatives. But again, with the Four of Wands, and the fours, of course, are all about, that stability, that foundation. So again, you have to plan with those things in mind. And so you want to go from a place of stability, not complete uncertainty and jumping in and then just hoping to find stability. You want to make sure your ground is fairly solid before making any moves here. So that's where I feel like the adaptability is coming in, is you trying to find a common ground, find a way to negotiate or mediate some kind of more stable surrounding on your home front because you're more grounded in that way. And that allows you the passage to kind of move from, one aspect of yourself to another. So again, there's something here around, it's still something that you have to, like I said, you kind of be flexible with because there's something here around, you know, safety, security, family, friends, that kind of thing. That's where you want to make sure that you are keeping grounded. So again, adapt to the situation to some extent. Don't let it take away from you, because the whole point of things is to expand and grow. So you're going to be entering a new prosperous period in your life here, and to do that, you need a strong foundation. So it's not about spending money. It's about kind of taking a look at how to protect your safety and protect your long-term investments and protect the things that are important to you. Again, not to steer, you don't want to be steered off in the wrong direction here. It's about being flexible enough to find the best ways to help you to grow into the best version of yourself. That's what I see there. So the next card out, of course, is one of independence. So with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like you're definitely moving. This is an individual journey for you for sure. I feel like there's a lot of you kind of operating from a place of self-reliance, but there's also that energy here of kind of claiming that level of independence. You are feeling a certain level of resources at this time, or you're aware of resources, but either way, there's something here about self-reliance and really finding a certain level of material comfort, but also, again, security within oneself. So feeling a little bit more complete here, and grounded in this period, or at least knowing that there is some that's up ahead here. So again, you're all on different timelines. It's a general read, but it definitely speaks to more ease, more comfort, more upgrades, and that there's a lot more stability here. And I feel like that is going to vastly improve your life, and it'll help to bring through this, change that you're undergoing. Because it does feel again like you're embarking on a bit of a solitary path, and it's not that you can't really take other people with you on this journey, because this is something of you trying to figure out you know what I mean? You have to be your own best friend first, that kind of thing. Okay, so excellent card to start with. So those were the clarifiers. But again, that main card out was you trying to work through some very, darker aspects of yourself. So we also have the next card out is the Six of Cups. So Six of Cups, again, you're making adjustments to those emotional uncertainties and those areas of your life where you just feel like you're undergoing a change emotionally. So therefore, that means your relationships are likely undergoing the same kinds of changes. But when you get to the Six of Cups, it does feel like there's a lot of things that you are reflecting on that revolve around the past. There's a nostalgic feel to this. And again, you're somehow tied to the past in some way here, because not only that, the Nine of Wands, there's a certain element of resistance to that change here as well. So I'm not sure what it is that that you're resisting in regards to the past, but there is something here about you not having to get rid of it exactly. It's more about Nine of Wands. You're ready, almost ready to shift into some kind of a change or integrate whatever it is that you need to learn from the past or this nostalgic place that you're in. You're almost ready to shift and adapt to what you need to do to complete that situation, or find a resolution for it. And then it will lead to all of this fulfillment and this level of, upgrade. But as I said, right now, it still feels like that Six of Cups is really on the mind, especially in the early parts of June. But the Six of Cups definitely is still a balanced card in itself. But you are reflecting about old memories and childhood, and maybe considering sort of missed opportunities or missed something there. But there's something about that energy is still protective for you, and it's still in a place of a childlike state of mind. Like it's an open kind of space of recollections, like, so it's a naive sort of place. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that helps you to, you know, empower yourself in some way with those memories. We can't bring back the past, but it's also something here about their childhood treasures or gems, something here that you can take with you as, a part of uh, it's a part of the emotional space of yourself that you're kind of, it's resurfacing here. So whether that was where some of the problem was, it's hard to say, but there's something about that nostalgia is rooted, something is rooted in the past here, but you're going to benefit from it because you're revisiting that space. And because you are revisiting it here, you're doing so with the Nine of Wands. So you're doing so in a space of, I am enjoying some element of the reminiscing, but I'm also persevering through whatever it is that I had to deal with. You're finding the courage with the Nine of Wands to explore those uncertainties or explore those emotional aspects, that whether they were things that you had to let go of, but take the PowerPoints or the things that were the gems and use that to help you to move past the setbacks. So it's knowing what you believe in, believing in yourself with the Nine of Wands. And it's about one last obstacle that you kind of have to overcome, and then you're sort of home free. So be patient is really what the cards indicate. So you are in a position of strength here. It's a deliberate, brief pause. And I don't feel like this is something that you have to worry about, because there's a lot of energy of, maybe something was blown out of proportion in the past here, but there's still a lot of elements that kind of speak to, you know, you're not throwing away old relationships here. What you're doing is you're adapting the relationships. You're putting them in a space where they are healthier for you to address or use or be around. I just feel like you're in that place of, even with the Page of Wands, that can be actually you, or it can be communication or something good news that's coming through here as well. But it just feels like there's a lot of positive growth and aspects moving forward. Especially when I see the Star card out here, you're healing there. Like, that's energy around healing a situation. So I mean, the star is definitely that space of, you're also at the Nine of Wands, so you're definitely in that space of being very close to concluding something. But again, the star is that energy of really starting to see the light, follow something through. There's persistence, there's renewal. It's a new cycle again that you're kind of working your way toward. And I feel like you have a more positive outlook. And so, because of that, the star fulfills the promises of good fortune. So, there is something here where your stability is really important to you here. You want to put your energy into the grounded aspects of that, because that will help you to sort of plummet forward. And it's about also, things that you thought were impossible are really actually very possible. So I feel like there is going to be improvements significantly, investments growing, anything that's dealing with the home front is starting to pay off. And again, I feel like things are going to work out better than you expect. Even though you may be still ruminating in some of the subconscious fears and the uncertainty of things, I just don't think that you are seeing it, fully yet. So, this is that space again where you are trying to make your dreams come true, basically. So, oh, thanks, Letitia. Oh, I appreciate that. Love and energy, healing energy back to you as well. 100%. I really feel like we just don't get enough of that positive energy out in the world today. Sometimes life gets in the way so much that we get stuck in our problems, and it's really hard to, move forward. So I will take that positive energy 100%, but back at you as well. So anyway, when we get to that Page of Wands as well, like that's energy of things moving, again, good news, and it's definitely moving in the right direction for you. So I just don't feel like you have anything to worry about here, Cancer, even though you are still, I'm not saying don't focus on what you're focusing on, because I feel like you almost need to, and able to grow, and able to find you again. Because that Page of Wands, like I said, could be dealing with somebody who lacks a little maturity, or a younger person here as well. But and again, I just feel like your focus is on, you want something of a new adventure. You want something more fun and exciting. And I feel like that's going to be opening up to you here soon. Like, I think it's closer to the present than you think it is. I'm sorry, guys. I have a lot of allergies, it seems, these days. But the other part of it is too, you're making those changes again, because there are so many cards of shifting and really trying to get to know who you are again, or, finding the aspects that you need to heal in your life. I just feel like that sense of wonder will start to renew again, because there's so many cards here too. Like, even on the next one, like, we have the Fool energy here. So again, we went from the Six of Cups and, that persevering energy of the Nine of Wands. So you definitely have a lot of determination. You definitely have, of overcome obstacles. And now it's almost like the obstacles are really more you. You're your own obstacle. It's like you need to get past these setbacks and prepare yourself emotionally. And that's what you're doing. It feels like you're kind of fighting yourself, to remain focused on positive memories, that kind of thing. And you're still ruminating about some elements of the past that didn't quite work out. But that nostalgia is actually, the good parts of the nostalgic reflection there is actually what's helping you to grow. It's helping you to put those happy memories in a healing place, and use those happy traumas or past traumas, turn it into something that is, you're mutating it in some way. Like, you're finding a way to accept that it was actually for your, I don't want to say for your own good, but you had to really, it drew attention to you somehow. It drew attention to you so that you could make find a stronger sense of yourself, is what I would say, to be able to move forward more determined. And again, there's lots of emotional growth here in this period of June. I think that you're really getting some valuable insights here with the Fool card, and especially with the Justice card so closely, connected here. I just feel like valuable insights for sure. And again, the Star card, that hope, that inspiration, that renewal, there's a sense of you rejuvenating yourself here. And I feel like that is going to allow you to feel a little more peace and harmony in, having faith in what's ahead on the path. This is where you're encouraged to trust your spirit, trust your connection to spirit and your intuition. But again, I feel like this is a period of healing and recovery, and you getting that renewed vigor and strength back so that you can feel that things are possible again. um I also feel like you're trying to get um a level of optimism back, and I feel like you have to kind of push yourself through to get that energy out of yourself again, and take yourself a little bit out of the comfort zone to embrace your new passions or something that was is going to help to balance you out. But again, there's so many cards here that speak to don't take a risk. It's so many cards of don't be reckless, do things with a balance and a sense of commitment, do it ethically, do things, do weigh things out in a situation, the positive, the pros, the negatives, the cons, that kind of thing. Don't do anything that is not going to be balanced here. As much as you're eager for this new path, it's the research has to be done here. Again, so many cards, even with the Page of Pentacles, that speak to, justice and things starting to balance out for you, even in terms of a connection, with a Libra sign or an air sign. That Page of Pentacles can represent you as well, but it can also represent, whoever these people are in the situation here. There is still something of a communication that's coming through, that still speaks to self-improvement, educating yourself. And again, if this is going back to school, reading books, whatever, it's studying, it's information, doing the research. And there's a lot more of that student apprentice information, kind of being balanced out here again, because I definitely feel like you're going to be expecting some kind of a message or something here. If you're trying to improve yourself with some kind of a work scenario or something about getting into school or whatever, I still feel like there's still that in the works that is coming in. There's good news. There's something about um, you being able to make use of something financial here anyway. You won't be deterred from your goals, like I said, because this is you finding stronger sense of self-confidence here in this period. I also feel like you are in that space of maybe some of you are kind of dealing with or have, you're definitely dealing with the inner self for sure. But it's also about kind of starting to pay attention to the things, health wise, as far as your knees or your digestive system, neck, shoulders, anything along that line here. But again, I just feel like there's a lot here that is really indicating balance. A lot of unknown factors, though, still present here as well, because even when we get to the High Priestess, like I said, I mean, there is a sense that for you to be going through so much of this, hi- of these hidden factors and this, delving so deep, I feel like there's been a real personal journey here, like I said, for whoever this speaks to, because again, it's more of a general read. So take what resonates. You're all in different timelines, all of that. But again, it just feels like you have decided to do the ethical thing, to follow the path that is going to be fair and balanced and commit to what's right. And like I said, all of that because the Fool, when I kind of reflect back here, the Fool and the Justice, they are kind of polar opposites. And the reason why I kind of reflect back onto that is it's because I feel like you don't want to actually, there's a part of you maybe reining it all back, reining in how to go forward. there's a sense of wanting to jump out there, but I feel like you're really being mindful of the consequences here. You don't want to do anything reckless. You want to be able to present your best self. So you're gathering all the information, considering your options, all of that. And again, all the consequences to whatever it is that you go forward with. Because there's so many unknown things here with the High Priestess and as well the Five of Swords. I feel like you didn't really feel like you won something. It feels like it was kind of like a gridlock, like nobody won. Had to be some kind of a price or something here, but it feels like self, the subconscious aspects of yourself, like I said, the unspoken elements, you're coming off as more of a mysterious kind of maybe broken sort of soul in a certain way. Or at least there's been some kind of conflict or betrayal around you where there's been a loss. So there's been a cost, there's been something you've had to face that was challenging. And again, that's why all this deep introspection and reflection. But I feel like you're in that space of, really trying to, I mean, whatever you did came at a cost, an extreme cost. And that's why I say I feel like this time you were trying to make some really methodical moves. And I feel like that is probably why. Um, and again, it was almost like a self-sabotaging energy. Like you deliberately put yourself into this situation, almost knowing that it wasn't a good scenario. And yet, now you've decided to do things different, but it was a time of rapid growth. It really put you in a place of, you know, because the High Priestess is that energy it's a strong energy, and it was the main one that's out here as well. But it definitely speaks to, being in that space of realizing a calling, having a certain sense of insight. And I feel like maybe you did not have the insight at that time, or you didn't use it wisely. You didn't follow your rational mind. Because this card here, the High Priestess, is like the hidden parts of our personality. So it's almost like, the unconscious, I just didn't feel like you were really fully listening to. You weren't willing to, and this is definitely you, this is a Cancer sign here as well. So it's like you weren't willing to heed your inner life or your inner world, like pay attention to the intuitive aspect. So again, there's something that you're concealing here, something that you're maybe holding back on as well. Maybe because it's challenging in some ways, but the High Priestess is a teacher. The High Priestess is that person, that speaks their truth. And that is the advice, is to speak your truth. You're aloof, you're detached here in an emotional way of some sort, but I still feel like you're in that space of um, focusing on keeping your own counsel. So you're really trying to do your own inner work here. Like I said, there's a lot of energy of you keeping to yourself. The Nine of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Moon card. There's a lot of energy of being pulled back. And maybe you're waiting for more spiritual insight before you can kind of move forward and make plans. But I feel like you're very in that spiritual aspect of things, but you're also balancing it out with the practicality with the cards here with Justice. So again, I feel like you're in that space right now of the personal path may not be clear, but there is still that energy of good luck for sure. Definitely aspects of success coming in here, but it's almost like it's a pregnant pause. There's still something here that's not quite revealed. And because you can't see it, it's hard to believe it. It's hard to believe that things could get better, but it will. So again, you are drawing more on your intuition to achieve what you want, but I think that it's come at a cost. Maybe something became unbalanced. And again, it's weigh the pros and the cons out. Don't fall completely into intuition. Don't fall completely into like one area over another. It's finding the balance, but do the footwork on yourself here. And again, there's lots of energy here as well about relying on some other sources here as far as the information to kind of work through this energy. But the Chariot is for sure, like I said, you're one of the big powerful outcome cards here. So you definitely have made some huge strides. The Chariot again is Cancer energy. You are so strongly resonating in this read. So to me, this also could speak to a journey of some sort, but it's also a journey of self-discovery. But I feel like you're moving into a powerful you, a powerful new you, a powerful place of a good sense of self. Like I said, the Chariot really is somebody who has overcome obstacles, and it definitely is progressing up the ladder here with the Emperor. And it's just a really good sense of getting to know yourself, but you're not pulled in all directions. It's like you're starting to get a really strong energy of who you are, and you're going to be able to create your own destiny in the driver's seat, all of that, self-made. This is someone who is structured. This is someone who takes charge of their world, really weighs it out, plans. It's just really strong energy of embarking on that strong self-discovery energy. That's what I would say there. Overall, it's do everything that you do in this period will be purposeful action. You're not doing anything that doesn't have an outcome toward achieving a specific goal. So again, I feel like you are looking at things like, this is where I need to be. This is the steps I'll take to get there. It's like you just are doing things in a very methodical, clear way. If you need to save money for something, you're doing XYZ to get there. Like I said, it's a powerful, strong, powerful energy. Emperor is somebody who definitely is doing things from a balanced point of view. Nothing chaotic here. This is somebody who's really in a space of um, higher reasoning. So, like I said, I feel like you're really into a space now with coming up with some very deep answers and very take charge kind of energy. So, yeah. Anyway, I feel like you're really trying to order your life here and make some focus on some long-term growth. Your power is definitely establishing here. And like I said, Aries could also be present here with that card, but strong leadership energy here. This is using your logic, your reasoning, also balancing it out with ambition and take charge kind of energy, but also you're balancing everything out in a really methodical way. Like I said, you're shifting where you need to shift. You're being flexible where you need to be flexible. You're using legal or contractual matters to your advantage. You might even be getting advice in regards to those things too, but I feel like you're really in a space of conquering things. So this is about victories and taking action and overcoming obstacles. You're really finding your greatest strength through your own will. And not only that, the victory is really coming through with family. There is the Ten of Cups here. This is your ultimate happiness. This is whoever you consider happiness to be with. I feel like you're in a space of, ultimate, you're really working on it. You're not deviating from what's going to bring you happiness. You have a goal in mind and you're really going to achieve it. And of course, we all get an element of happiness in our lives in some way, shape, or form. But I feel in particular, but of course, that always comes with the next challenge, the next obstacle. So we can never be complacent and say, well, I finally reached the space of this. Because the point is everything that you were weak with before, until you actually overcome it in some way and revisit it, it will come up again and again and again. Every time you reach a new level in a certain area, whatever your weaknesses are will come up again. So and that's why it's rolling with the punches, so to speak, because we're never meant to be problem free. We were never meant to be pain free. Humans, as they say, spirit, we are spirit in a human frame. The human frame always has pains because that's the nature of its imperfections, but the spirit body knows how to resolve, like it knows what it wants, and it's having the opportunity to figure out who you are and what you what you want from your avatar, if you will, and that experience will come with you have all of the senses for a reason. I'm going to put it that way. You have all of the senses for a reason. Your heart space, they find, heart material in the brain, like they work in tandem. That's actual science, just so you know. Look that up. Anyway, but there's also that element of, your ears, your hearing, but there's also a sense of, what do you hear? I remember going to a seminar one time, and I'm going to use vision in this case, but it was somebody who had said, it was a seminar with Millionaire Mind seminar, actually, which was kind of interesting. And they had everybody stand up and try to work through an element of your fear. So what they did was they brought people into the room, and then they would say, everyone take a look at everything in the room that's red. Look for everything that's red. And of course, that's what you did. You looked for everything that was red, and you saw and you found everything that was red. And if you looked for, then they'd say, look for everything that is green. And you start looking for everything that is green. So the point is you see what you want to see. So everything is always there underneath our nose, and all of our senses are available to sense everything. So again, the problems will still be there. That will always exist. But you can navigate through it faster if you use all of your senses to harness and move to the next level. So, it's like going out into nature, and you've got the elements of, believe it's the natives anyway, when they go out into nature, they teach their young, and I'm not saying this is true for all, this is just like a stuff from the history book, so to speak. But, when you go out into nature and you start to tune into, listening to the birds, do the birds have a certain sound when they are stressed out? Do the birds have a certain sound when they are at peace? Do the winds start to pick up and create, revitalize everything? And then that has another effect on what? The environment in what way? Like, you're starting to pay attention to the elements, what you hear, what you see, what you touch. Everything has a different touch or a different effect depending on the energy that you're in. So, and I would say that even of our tarot readings, a lot of times, if you are in more of a negative space, you might see a hint of more of a negative thing. So that's why I say, and that's not to say that there aren't positive things in it. It's just that you're focusing more on whatever the negative aspects are of that person's journey. So it's kind of things like that, So our energy really speaks to and overlaps with a lot of other things. So when it comes to, again, the 10 of cups, that's the ultimate happiness. This is you feeling like you're loved, feeling like you have a strong foundation, feeling like you've got true love, or something that might be even coming through here, or feeling like you actually have some kind of permanency, an enduring happiness, you're touching it now, you're in that energy of it. So there's some kind of enduring happiness that's really there for you. And of course, it will change, it will mutate, because we have to have the problems. But at this point, you're feeling safer and you're feeling more protected. You're feeling a high level of fulfillment or security here. So again, it's not that the difficulties are not ever going to come up again. Whatever you haven't fully resolved will arise again, and you'll keep chipping away at it. But just make sure you have more resources around you, so that when you do hit the lows, you rebound a lot faster up again. So again, this is something here about you achieving something that is infusing you with a new sense of peace, a new sense of happiness. I'm going to say in this moment, there's a certain amount of harmony that really just makes you feel like you are loved. And again, I just feel like this is a full achievement, and you're embracing happy and family and happiness and personal relationships, all of that. And there it is, the wish fulfillment card. Not only do you have the 9 of cups, you have the 10 of cups. You have wish fulfillment. It is something that is huge coming in for you in your birthday month. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't take advantage of what you've got in this month and really relish it, this is a memory that you are making for yourself. And again, it's not going to be that there'll never be another problem here, but in this moment, this is a memory in the making. This is something that is going to fill you with so much happiness, so much connection, that it's a wish coming true. This is where your problems feel like they're behind you, because you're able to manifest something through your emotional balance. You've really been able to conquer a part of yourself, which is allowing you to balance everything out. So this is you, ultimately feeling like I said, emotionally, your well-being is being looked after here. This is super positive energy here. Your personal vision on some level has come true. Something has come in for you. Almost done, guys, although I guess I could probably stop right there. But when we get to the Queen of Cups, again, I still feel like there's a lot of cards here that indicate that there's rapid growth taking place for you on an emotional level. Not only with that, the other cards there, but the Queen of Cups next to the Eight of Cups. I mean, that's you. There's high momentum here. This is you starting to finally move forward. You're not feeling stuck or stagnant. You're moving out of that energy because there is this good news and positive developments are starting to come forward. So and again, rapid developments, especially with so there's communication coming in about something really, really rapid with the Knight of Swords. Really, really quick, clear communication about how you're going to be able to go forward. So again, I feel like you're going to feel strong news, positive developments. Again, some of you, it might be a little further out into July, but this is excellent energy where you're getting some kind of positive development where you're going to be able to make a move on an opportunity here. But again, there's a lot of cards here that speak to consider the consequences before you take action. You are really moving away from some very, very hard learned lessons, some really heavy energy, lots of competition, lots of difficulty. And it's kind of left you in a place where you are still pulling back. I feel like you are still in that space of, with the Four of Pentacles but it's very, very, very positive, very good money. That's coming through here. Again, your stability, your foundation is pretty solid in this month. And again, probably going forward with all that level of happiness, probably going forward for quite some time here. Again, not without problems, because we always have a new element of our life that needs to be balanced out. If it's not the relationships, then it's going to be the money. Maybe sometimes it'll be both, but you know what I mean? There's always something, could be relationships with family. Everything, you're always going to be tested. So you always have to just, balance it out constantly. It's like, a negotiation with life itself. But I feel with the Four of Pentacles, again, you feel really rooted and protected and secure with where you are. You're also in that space of not wanting to let go of something here as well. So you're kind of hanging on very tightly to that firm foundation. So, don't be afraid of change is kind of where we're going with this, but, don't cling to the familiar, but level yourself up, learn something new. The cards were there for all of that as well, because you don't want to be repeating any old patterns by clinging to old stories, old cycles, old jealousies, old difficulties. Because that it hasn't really worked for you. If you're stuck in that energy, you have to be willing to find your power. And again, I still feel like there's a lot of energy that you are finding your power. But again, super strong energy around, very protective of your wealth and the things that are important to you. But there's a lot of history and childhood and family really strongly on your mind in this period, even though there's been some, pretty significant effort that you've had to take to push through and to produce something. So, that's what I would say there. And again, still when we get to that, again, there was so many cards here of rapid growth and quick communication. Something's coming in for you, but you are going away from, that stagnant. There's a lot of momentum, period. So again, even with the Eight of Cups, that's where you're starting to push through all of that heavy energy, and you're really in that space of, again, thinking before you act, because there's going to be consequences if you don't do it in a very methodical, balanced way. And there's also the next cards out here that with the Three of Wands, that's definitely moving into the next horizon here. So success is paying off because of, things in your life that were kind of set up here for you to make progress. You've done a lot of work on yourself. The gift from the universe is already here. Ace of Cups, it is an emotional, like an overwhelming emotional thing that's giving you, I can't even express the level of heightened joy that you're going to feel from this. I feel like whatever this positive emotional experience is, I feel like this is going to be happiness that is going to be long and enduring. And I feel like it is going to be something that is, you're tapping into a part of yourself that I don't think you ever really knew you could feel so deeply about. So it's really going to expand the horizons here. There might be some more guidance that's coming in to assist you here with, again, a couple of the cards here, but you've got the ultimate cards. You have the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. There is nothing more spectacular than this reading. Like I said, you are in a space where you get to command the energy here. You're in a place of, you know, like ultimate joy, more carefree. You feel security. You feel loved. There's emotional bonds here. There's even a sense of travel, but there's also, maybe you're taking a holiday here. But like I said, there's something here about a very prosperous time in your life, and you're just on the precipice of it. Some of these are clarifiers. Don't get me wrong, there are clarifiers. So it's not to say your immediate circumstances are changing, but the energy that you're in is one of huge success. You are now in a place of, changing life for the better. Everything's going to change in terms of your prosperity, your work, your business, your emotional life. Everything is about to change. You are still in the space of it in the month of June. You're still in that space of dealing with some of the underlying energy, but you don't quite see the level of abundance that you are moving into. This is going to propel your family life forward. Things are going to be stable. I even feel like your health is going to improve because you're thinking of your life differently. So I just feel like a lot of improvements on especially the emotional aspects of feeling loved. That is very strongly coming through. And whether this is inheriting money or a windfall of some sort, I feel like the experience here that you're after is one of deep satisfaction and abundance. Again, this is for learning you, getting in touch with you. This is a reward for doing the work and breaking old patterns and beliefs. You've made a breakthrough of some sort. And so because of, you've worked on yourself here, there's a certain level of emotional depth that I don't think you ever felt you could feel. That's what I feel here. Like, this is just amazing energy. Again, a lot of energy of, things opening up to you. But the main energy out is you're at the precipice of change. And again, I'm just going to go through the main cards. And the other one was the Moon card, working through the subconscious. This is where you are in the month of June, working through those deep-seated, rooted problems and difficulties. And again, the next card out was the Six of Cups. You're really into the past right now. There's a lot of nostalgia. Could be people or friends and that kind of thing that are here as well. But it just feels like there is a healing that's taking place on a big scale. And again, there's a lot of things that are still unknown to you, things that you haven't quite maybe fully dealt with. Don't sabotage it, because that Eight of Swords means there's a sense of you still shifting. So don't sabotage it. Stay balanced. But the High Priestess is you're coming off as aloof. Oh, hi. Sorry, I was trying to read the new subscriber. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Is it Nina? Hi, Nina. Thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, there's something coming in here. So again, your energy right now is wish fulfillment is coming in, communication is coming in, and rapidly. You're in a place of trying to heal yourself in a big way. Justice. There, the card that first came out there. Again, there's energy around healing self, healing relationships, adapting and finding more flexibility in your scenario. Like, you're shifting as you need to shift. You're not rigid. You're holding yourself back, granted. You're not really exposing yourself in any way. I feel like there's some guarded energy there. But you're just getting rid of the baggage, the emotional baggage. There is just, and I've got some other cards here too that I want to pull out. Sorry, these were just the tarot ones. But I wanted to also kind of pull out, these ones were the I also have the Ancestral Path Tarot deck, but this one was the card of Fortune Oracle. So again, with the Ego card, you're above the problems. You're really looking at your difficulties with some distance, and you're really seeing clearly the way forward. So again, you're really making some huge strides and big breakthrough moments. Again, don't try to revisit and get stuck in these things. These situations, soon as we get another trigger, it'll throw us right back into the scenario. But the whole point is to gain the clarity and gain the strength. So if you are hit with a situation again that's similar or get another trigger of it, you have a sense of vision of how to deal with it and that freedom of choices to, overcome the situation, overcome the obstacle. So again, this is where you actually have a better idea of the situation. You're assessing it from a distance. You're creating some distance from you and the trauma or the difficulty, and you're able to see where you made some wrong choices here. And this is bringing you closer to your goal. So you're overcoming the obstacles. You're a lot more confident. Again, a lot of this is internal energy. A lot of this, even in terms of your personal relationships, you're resolving them, whatever the difficulties were, and that's helping you to grow stronger because you're deciding to let go of the things that you cannot find. um, you're letting go of the things that you can't find a resolve in. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to be able to find a way to move forward and progress. So that means a certain level of acceptance of ourself and of what we could control or can't control. The card of the angel, this is also that energy of, and you will be getting recognition for, for the things that you have, you've shown up in your own reading here with a lot of power, courage, and determination. So again, even with and there's loads of protection here with the angel card. This is you in, loads of protection over the spiritual journey, over the things that you're delving deep into. So you're getting insights, and so spirit is coming through to give you some of the encouraging messages, to help you to, get through whatever the obstacles were that you were sort of, piling through in that first little bit. But again, this is also encouraging you in terms of your career and finances to bring out hidden talents and any kind of artistic creative sparks. So this is not sitting on the fence. This is awakening to what you're capable of. We also have the card of transformation, which again, this whole reading has been about. You're in a powerful space of getting to know you again. You're in a space of, having the strength to make these changes and make your life a better, becoming the person that you want to be, making your life better because you're now realizing just how transformed you are. You are that caterpillar moving into the butterfly. You are stepping out of your comfort zone and you're moving into the space of who you want to be. You're able to move forward. You're able to look at relationships with a certain level of, um, what's negative, what's toxic, and you're letting go of those things. You're discerning. You're able to make a better informed choice about finding like-minded people, people that will be encouraging, people that will, be more supportive. There's a new goal here for you, that I feel like you're about to move into. And again, I feel like there's a lot more connection, a lot more happiness. There's a destination here that's bringing you into a space of understanding you, especially understanding yourself. The owl, so you're working with or able to accept certain things about yourself and still move forward. The owl is that spiritual message of great wisdom. You have just gone through a massive transition in your life, and I feel like this is that space that's telling you the changes that you make up ahead are coming from places of wisdom. You are likely to go ahead with some kind of new course of study with this card. But there's also, because there's such a transition and there's more insight, like I said, either you're going to be teaching others or others are going to be teaching you. But there's something here about you're very protective over family. You've gained a lot of knowledge and wisdom. You're now involved in helping people, or that's a part of the journey here. So whether this is you moving into counseling or you going into counseling to kind of experience that, whatever it is, it's an uplifting card. So again, there's something here about a deeply intuitive period. intense, sort of messages that are coming through now. And it's more about helping out children and family and friends along the way. And it definitely speaks to having a thirst for knowledge. Like you really want to get out there and learn something new. Learning a new skill, whatever that is. You want to create new exercise plans. You want something to improve yourself, because that's what this is about. This journey was all about sort of getting to know you and all of the aspects that you can develop within yourself. We all come with skills. And the thing about skills is you don't know what skills you have until you learn it. You learn something, and even if you suck at it, it doesn't matter. If it's something you want to learn, you will become good at it. And then you become the teacher to someone else. Like the cycle of humanity is just that. You are protected, very much protected in this period of June, but you are also to remain cautious in the face of challenges. There's danger that is around you. I'm not going to say that you are completely out of the pit here, but I will say that you're aware of those dangers now. You are aware of where to be cautious, and you're making the decisions now to put yourself apart from the quarrels or the confrontations or the things that are going to be upsetting, because you're now in a space where you are wisely choosing what is good for you, what grows you. This is that space of just it's careful discernment. It's all of those things. You're super sensitive here, though. Don't get me wrong. I feel like you're super sensitive, and maybe that's where the caution is also coming in here. But I definitely feel like these coming months, and you're just going to be walking a little lighter, treading lightly for the next little while, because it's almost like it's a new territory and you're not quite sure how to handle it. So but again, it's still, you're very protected, but remain cautious, because there is some dangers still around you where you just want to, um, maybe it's hidden enemies or something like that, but don't reveal too much about yourself. So do everything in a very cautious, protective way is what I'm getting here. Last card's out, and I know I went on forever. Okay, so this one, I don't really know all that well. It is a new deck for me, so I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to have to read this one. So this is where we're starting out. So the King of Swords this is the Ancestral Path Tarot deck. Love the cards, huge, huge cards, but they're very, yeah, they're just unique. They're different from the other ones, and that's what I like about it. And the cardstock is great too if you're interested in picking them up. So give me a second here. I got to find the cards and the advice that go with this one. But the King of Swords, I mean, I know from the other decks, the King of Swords usually represents like an air energy here, but definitely Libra, all of that comes through. Give me one more second. Just got to find it. Almost there. All right, got it. Okay, King of Swords. In this particular deck, it does speak to creative skills. And again, this is where I felt you were doing more retooling of yourself. You're in a place where you want to retool yourself. So it's going to be used in such a way intellectually, it's becoming a weapon in a sense, because you're smarter than you were before. You are, you're making a plan of action with this card here. So this is emerging from chaos and confusion is what the card indicates. You're following a plan of action, and it definitely means that you're in a space of creation. You're creating something with the mind. Okay, we do have a tower moment that is still coming in here. And I have to say, I did do some of your reading before, and there was also something that kind of represented a tower. And I don't know if this is a tower of unexpected sudden change, or a destruction of whatever you believed, of the past. But it's a breakdown of all of those elements so that you finally end up in control of everything. So it's like you're breaking through with the King of Swords. You're breaking through, and you're finally starting to see things clearly, is what I would say there, because the Two of Sacred Circles, that really speaks to kind of a sense of balance as well. It is still integrating both the spiritual elements as well as the physical world. So you're balancing out the two worlds here, but it's a peak experience. It's like something that immediately shows up in your future here, and it's like you can see it. And now you just feel fully empowered. You feel strong. And there it is, the strength card. And I even forgot what I pulled there. But the strength card comes out. It's like all of a sudden you went through all of this, you're retooling yourself, you're figuring out who you are again, what you want, and now you're empowered in some way. And then the strength card shows up. You've had the ability to endure. This is that time of creating some harmony within your environment and you're attracting that as well. But there's physical health and vitality with this card. So it really, really strong cards. Now, the Hanged One is where something is kind of in that space of transition. So you're needing some rest here. You're needing to put yourself into a space of surrendering to, like, sacrifice a little bit of your energy here just to heal. It feels like you're impatient and bored, but there's a sense of just heal through this because everything's going to change for you now. And again, 9 of Sacred Circles. Oh my gosh. Like I said, it's repeated in all of the cards here. This is you mastering life. This is you becoming more mature. This is you being in a space where there's wisdom. You're now taking responsibility for things. And this is also blessings coming to you here as well. 10 of Swords, that's the hard-won battle. You have gone through some massive, massive, stressful, difficult periods here. The 10 of Swords means there was really disruptive, chaotic energy around you, violent change, a situation that was blown out of proportion. All of that could be a lot of drama, victimization. Everything goes with that card. Could be even kind of abuser sort of scenarios there. But when we get to the Ace of Sacred Circles, again, everything is turning around. Everything, you're in the energy of it. Now, everything doesn't happen overnight because a lot of the cards I pulled in the tarot reading were more, cards of what's going to be happening further out as well. But the energy you're in right now is significantly resolving those aspects of yourself where you had some deep dives to kind of complete. But again, Ace of Sacred Circles, you were really in that space of receiving now. There's some incredible, incredible energy here. Like I said, the Ace is a new start to your happiness. It's the gift card from the universe. So this is things that are in the material world. So that is where I'm going to leave it, guys, because I don't think there is anything more I need to say. You have done some amazing inner work, and I just feel like your whole world is going to shift now. Again, it's not to say there's not going to be problems with it. Still be mindful of your own security. Everything is about a caution here, and to balance things out and not to bring around the wrong people to you because you're moving into a new space, a new leveling up here. And because of that, you need to make sure you have the right people around you to maintain that. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it and keep moving forward, guys. Never give up. And oh my God, Cancer, I would love to know how things turned out for the month of June. Like I said, everything's going to be a little bit further out with all those clarifiers, but the energy you're in is finally understanding yourself. And because you've done the work, everything is going to open up to you now. Take care.